John 1:18. Deum nemo vidit umquam, unigenitus filius, qui est in sinu patris, ipse enaravit. No one ever has seen God, the only begotten Son, who is literally at the breast or in the breast of the Father. We would say in English, at his side. That person, and I'll explain why I'm translating it that way in a moment, has told us these things. Now, why has John suddenly decided to give us this sentence? Well, most commentators think what he's doing here is he's distinguishing between the grace and truth that have come through Jesus Christ, and he's contrasting that with the law which came through Moses, though both in a sense are the provisions of God. So he's saying no one ever has seen God, even though Moses, in a sense, beheld some of God's glory on Sinai. He did not have the kind of access, if you will, to the Father that the only begotten Son does, which has provided the means for that Son, the Verbum Dei, to explain or tell about those things that he has seen at the side of the Father. So let's look at the grammar more closely here in this first clause. And by the way, again, we're going to need a bit of a separation, some imagined punctuation here, perhaps a semicolon in English. Deum nemo vidit umquam. No one, this is our indeclinable subject. Nemo, you can think of Captain Nemo, who is sort of so reclusive that he almost wasn't even there. If that helps you remember Nemo. Or you can think of the famous fish, whatever gets you through. I won't judge. Deum nemo vidit umquam. Vidit here, we need to be careful to notice, this is the third person singular perfect active indicative. Okay, it needs to be carefully distinguished from videt, which would be the present tense, third person singular active indicative. Okay, but we don't have videt. Remember, the verb is video, videre. Instead, we've got vidit. Vidit. That's our perfect tense. No one has seen ever God, Deum, God the Father. Pause. Here's our second clause. Unigenitus filius, the only begotten Son. We talked about this word in a previous video. Unigenitus, it's an interesting compound. Only begotten Son, translating Greek monogenes. Unigenitus filius, the only begotten Son, who, here's qui, our relative pronoun. And this, what is this going to be? Well, it's got to match filius, right? So it's going to be masculine, singular. But now for the case, we're not looking back at the antecedent noun. We're going to look at what is it doing in its own relative clause. That will show us its grammatical function. Here, it's the subject of this little relative clause. So we know that it's nominative. Filius, unigenitus filius, the only begotten Son, who is in sinu patris. Literally, we would say in archaic English, probably we wouldn't say this anymore, in the breast of the Father. And that simply means so close to him that he is right next to him. In sinu reflects, as we're used to seeing very closely, the Greek. Greek word is kolpos, bosom, which means more or less the same thing. In sinu, in right at the side of the Father, we would probably say in modern English. This phrase is emphasizing the nearness of the Son to the Father and their close relationship. And so we're really coming full circle from John chapter 1, verse 1, where we started. The Word was with the Father, right there with him at his side. Now here, ipse also calls for comment. This is translating ekenos in Greek, which is actually our farther demonstrative pronoun. That one, that person, that man. Here, ille would really make a little more sense in our Latin translation, but instead we've got ipse, which normally would mean he himself, but here we should take it in the sense of ille, that one, that person, has told about, has related. Third person singular, perfect active indicative of enaro, enarare.